All right, welcome back to the Crawford Lawcast. I'm Michael Perkinson. We're here with Chris Crawford and our special guest, Pensacola Vibes, Sean Mullins.
Good morning, Sean. How you doing?
Awesome. How are you?
Doing well, man. It's an early morning.
Nah, it's not that bad now.
Well,
no.
it is for me. I got a 2-year-old, so it's funny because it's late in some regards and early every time. So, first off, what is Pensacola Vibes?
So for Pensacola Vibes, when I first started it, it was just like a passion project. I was just taking photos, going around the nature trails and stuff like that. And now it's obviously formed into something much larger. But the mission of Pensacola Vibes has always been just to get people outside. It's never been a money grab. Obviously, I'm trying to make some kind of money, sustain a life, and love what I do. But it was just to get people outside. And this is before COVID, before anything like that. Like, if I had nothing going on or if I was in a funk, I went on a nature trail, came back, and felt great. And that was the purpose of Pensacola Vibes, was just to get people outside.
So what came first? Was it the taking the pictures and then the idea, hey, we can turn this into something you're calling Pensacola Vibes, and the name that you came up with?
So I had a plethora of photos already. I don't know why I decided to keep them. It was all taken on a GoPro. Started creating folders of the location, the date, and went from there. But I had people come up to me, since I'm a graphic designer and a web designer, to start lifestyle companies. Just not even Pensacola, but like other ones, like death metal companies with like slogans of like, you know, hail Satan. You know, something that was very edgy.
What do they call the 5-star? What's that called? The pentagram?
Yes.
So you'd throw some pentagrams on some
Something like
things,
that, yeah.
Maybe some goat heads.
100%. Man, he's really good at this. Anyway, but my buddy started this company, and I helped him design some things, and then he, you know, I asked him more like, well, how do you do the shipping? And like, oh, it's through PayPal, and like, you put the person's information on PayPal, and then you print the shipping labels. Anyway, but so pretty much I just took that, and I was like, you know, I don't even know how I came up with the name of the company. I wish I did, but I can't lie about that. But like, I was like, yeah, Pensacola Vibes sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna create a Facebook page, and then I did that, and then pretty much just sharing my photos with other people that have equal passions about Pensacola. Like, because I can, like, same thing, like, oh, how long have you lived in Pensacola? Oh, 15 years, and you've never walked on the pier? Like, why? Like, I think it's me showing the photo. If you can make it look cool, then people want to do it, and that just gave me the motivation to keep on doing it. And, you know, I've said it before, but like, the first viral video that I had was the Blue Angels. I had a GoPro under the water. They flew over the pier, and right as they were flying over the pier, I brought it above the water. They shared it on their Facebook page, and I went from 200 likes to 2,000 likes overnight on Facebook.
So that's what Mike was telling me,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no idea about the story, right? Mm-hmm. So was that intentional? Like, were you on the water thinking, hey, man, this is going to be a cool shot?
I was swimming around like an idiot for, I don't know, 30 minutes, just like in water, waiting for them to come out. I don't know where I thought of the idea either, but it's because of the tools that I had, and I use them for what they're for. Like,
right.
A GoPro, when I was using it, when I first started, it was just everything above water. I'm like, that's just for a camera, and like, you can just use a camera for that. I'm like, well, a GoPro is a tool. It's waterproof, and you use above water. And I was like, man, it'd be pretty cool to go from below the water and above water. These days, it's tough for me to come up with original ideas because there's so much content out there. But that was an original idea of mine. I was like, oh shit, I'm just gonna take my GoPro, put it below the water. Hopefully, I get it, because that was always the hardest thing. Is like a water smudge on the lens, a little tiny lens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you never know. And like, I brought it above water. You can see it in the video. There is a water smudge, but as soon as I go dead on it, it just goes away. And I was like,
Did you lick the lens?
I've done it before.
What do you mean lick the lens?
It like gets, like, I don't know. It's like, what do you call it? What's the?
Is it an old
it's like
wives?
Rain-X.
It's like a wives'
natural
tale.
Rain-X.
I remember that for scuba masks. You know, you would spit into the scuba mask.
Yeah, almost the same concept, but like,
okay.
I don't know how long it'll last though. Like, I'm not gonna, you know.
Me neither.
Yeah. There's no testing on it.
No, because I've done that shot again in the past. I've done it 2 more times, and you're not gonna find me in the middle, like the water halfway down the pier, swimming out there going. Because I've had guys like even like yell at me like, get the hell out, because they're fishing. Like, you're not supposed to be here. Like, they think I'm spearfishing. Because I had like the pole, like extendable GoPro pole.
Okay.
They thought I was spearfishing. I'm like, no, so you're never gonna see me like going around here with a GoPro like that. Like, oh shit, I gotta get the shot. But like, I have that. That was that first shot, and then the second shot is what I used. It's called a dome housing for a GoPro. pretty much like, let's say this is the level of water and you bring the GoPro to this level and you're trying to get like a split shot, you're not going to be able to because it's very, very like blurry. But the dome pushes the water back so where there's more of a shot, so you get 50% underwater, 50% above water, and that's what I did for that second shot. That one was pretty cool. It's just, you know, you see it the entire time, but then it's like all you see is green water and there's nothing else going on. It'd be awesome. I get like a dolphin or a shark in it, but like the chances of that happening are pretty minimum. Although the third time, that's when I had a problem where it's like, oh, it'd be funny if there's a shark out there. And as soon as I walked up onto like, you know, the shoreline, there's people pointing at the water. I'm like, great, they're pointing at a shark.
The whole jaw scene, shark,
shark. I'm just gonna wait till I see them turn, and I'm gonna run into the water. And that's what I did. I'm like, if I don't see it, it never existed. So I just swam out there. And there's people with pictures like sharks behind me, like their fins are out there. I'm like, sick.
So what was the timeline? Did you start with graphic artist and then move on?
So I came here because of ROTC. Of Armory, JROTC in high school down in Southeast Florida is where I grew up.
Where?
So, Weston is where I grew up.
Okay, I know Weston.
Yeah, right next to Fort Lauderdale area. And I break everyone's heart when I tell them that because I'm Pensacola Vibes and I'm not from here. Anyway, move on. And
look, when you say, hey, I'm not from here, my version of Pensacola, that's like at least 50% of the people here, right?
Yeah.
If not more. So the whole story of Pensacola is Pensacola brings people here for 1,000 different reasons. You know, South Florida, 80% of the people there are trying to escape something. Right?
100%.
I mean, they're all pirates. Like, that's the reason you go out in South Florida. Pensacola, you can come here for military, come here for, nowadays, Navy Federal.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But it brings all these... I would say Pensacola is one of the most diverse cities in Florida.
yeah,
hands
100%.
down.
I think it's getting there. And that's one of those things, going a little off topic, but like, I love South Florida. It's very, very diverse. So I went to high school with kids from South Korea, North Korea, Palestine, Israel, like, huge like plethora of like people, and I didn't take it for granted. Like, I just went to high school and I came up here and that was normal, and this is not normal. But especially me going to visit St. Pete, I'm like, oh man, I love going to St. Pete. There's so much to do there. I'm like, damn, I could do the same thing here in Pensacola. The only problem is that there's not that many people that do it here. And so, like I said, this is a little off topic, but like, I love paddleboarding, and that's not a big thing here in the city. Like, going through, like, there's a creek called Jones Swamp, and it's like that. You can go through Bayou Chico. If I could record that and make it look cool, maybe more people will do it, and then maybe they'll have like kayak. What do you call that?
Like rental companies.
Yeah,
like start a whole thing.
Yeah, where you can start at something like a slip, like a kayak slip, or like a paddleboard slip, because they had that in South Florida where there was 2 bars right there. You get on your board or whatever, and it's very easy, accessible. So it's not like you have to be physically fit to do these things. And I don't know. I think Pensacola can do something like that. It just has to be cool.
So the thing that you're 100% right. Like, Pensacola, one of our bad mottos is we do take a lot of things for granted. There's people who've grown up here that spent like their early 20s going to the beach almost every day, and then once they get past it, they don't ever go to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, to them, it's too much of a hassle. But if you, like I did, I went to law school in South Florida. Like, if you really know about the hassle of going to a beach in South Florida, our beach is incredibly easy.
Yes.
I mean, imagine having to pay $30 just to park when you go to the beach. I mean, that's how it was in Miami.
That's
you
if
know?
you decide to pay, but you know.
Yeah,
If you get
exactly. But you know, it is crazy. So not just the diversity of people, but the diversity of environments. Like, the north end of the county, you got farms. You got real deal working farms. And you go down the south end, we got beaches, and we got we got crazy things. Fort Pickens, like, if you ever done the whole Fort Pickens tour, that's one of the most wild places we got. And it's incredible, like, how well it's preserved in all reality. And you can walk through some of the tunnels and all that. But people don't do it.
That's the thing, like, and especially when I go down to the point at Fort Pickens, I'll sit there and I'm by myself for sunset. It's like, why isn't anyone else doing this? Not like I'm trying to blow the exposure of it out of the water so like a shit ton of people show up. Sorry, can I curse?
Absolutely, man. Look, at the end of the day, this is the real Florida Man Lawyer podcast.
Here we go.
Okay,
and
the only thing we're going to stop you doing is admitted prior crimes.
No.
At that point in time, I'm going to say, hey, Fifth Amendment.
100%. FAA, sorry.
Yeah.
I got called FAA like 5 times. Go ahead.
So, Sean, how many followers do you have now?
So on Facebook, I think it's around 117,000, and then Instagram, it's like 49.7 thousand.
All right. So, from what I see, and I've seen you at Fort Pickens, also to your credit and thank you, you taught me how to fly my drone.
Awesome.
Which I appreciate the
I
heck
do remember
out of.
the TE bar.
How much do you think I know that you truly enjoy what you do, because you hopped out of the water from skimboarding to get that sunset shot. You were having a blast the whole entire time. Mm-hmm. How much do you think truly loving what you do has played into building your page?
Oh, 100. I mean, everything that I do, it surrounds what I do with Pensacola Vibes. I mean, there are times where I'm like, I don't feel like recording the sunrise, or I don't feel like, even if I'm there, I'm like, man, I am mentally burned out. And that's the beauty of what I do, is that I don't have to do it if I don't want to. Because I've created this platform of my life to where I can sustain doing freelance stuff and then Pensacola Vibes stuff. If my Pensacola Vibes stuff is doing great, I can switch gears to freelance. But like everything that I do for Pensacola Vibes, it's not work to me to an extent. There's sometimes I'm like, oh damn, I need to design a new logo. And I'm like, cool, I feel like doing it. And then that's it. And then I get to show everyone. And then my ego is like through the damn roof because everyone loves it, or if they hate it, they'll tell me. But like for the most part, like everyone just supports me what I do. But I have to be like, tell me if it sucks. Stop like just kissing my ass.
Oh man, the yes mans, can take down a whole society. Yeah. You got to have somebody to keep you in check.
But I've surrounded myself with people that actually, support me and will tell me like, Sean, that looks like ass. And first off, you spelled that wrong. Damn. Okay.
Pensacola Vines.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I told you this before we start, but people who can do things I don't do, I think of them like they're magicians. Mm-hmm. I mean, I tried in my mind, like, think, how did he do this? So, it sounds like when you're doing the creative art thing, the graphic arts, you're having to learn about photography, you're having to learn about cinematography. How did that all happen? Was it all YouTube?
So, that's the thing. So, a lot of people have taught me how to do it, but I, being 90s kid, I guess, The Matrix, I love The Matrix.
Okay.
I need to learn how to fly a helicopter. Boom, right in his head. If you can put into words what you want to do or trying to do onto YouTube, you should be able to do it if you can actually like dedicate the time to do it. The logo, Pensacola Vibes' logo, it was a cool like shadow effect to it, but there was no shadow and there's no effect on Adobe Illustrator to do it, so I just put into words how to do it, and then I took the time to do it. It's videography. How do I make proper slow-mo footage? Because you can take slow-mo footage with something and then speed it down halfway and it's just choppy, and then so cool, like look up the settings. How do I take astrophotography like at the night sky? Because I can't just take my camera out there and go for it and just YouTube it. That's how I've done everything. How do I change my air filter on my Jeep?
Right. 100% all the way across.
But there's some things, like you said, like they're magicians, and I think it's a matter of respect. Like, I'm not good at rolling sushi. I love to go out and eat sushi because I can't do that at home. I'd rather pay someone to do it than me do it at home and just lose all my money. And then
the crazy thing, so just rolling sushi, right? So here's another thing. I'm a sushi fanatic. Mm-hmm. So at the point in my life, I think I'm like a sushi connoisseur, right? Like I will quickly, wherever I go. So while I'm living in South Florida, I quickly found the best place, right? And the best place may not be the most known place.
No, but to you it's the best place.
To me it's the best place, right? It has all the things that I want. So I did the same thing in Pensacola, and I got my 2 or 3 places that I go all the time. Man, the quality of sushi that we have around here is as good as Miami.
Yeah, 100%.
100, absolutely, right? So
if you know how to find it.
Yeah. You just got to be willing to go out and try, right? So there's a place in Gulf Breeze that I love, Sankishi.
Yep. Great
place. The owner is a very cool guy, Chris. So me being me, I'll talk to a stranger, man. I'll talk to anybody off the side of the road. So I pull him aside and I'm like, hey, where are you getting your fish? Tell me when you get the deliveries. Mm-hmm. Who are you buying it from? And the guy was completely open. So he's getting it from California, having it flown in almost daily. His fish is insanely fresh. I'm talking top notch. But it's all about, that's his passion. Mm-hmm. He could not think of it doing it cheaper. To him it's whatever.
And being transparent. That's another thing. People ask me about, they feel like I'm not going to tell them something. I'm like, I'll tell you everything that you want. I mean, if the day that I'm not doing it better or as good as someone else, it's my fault. So if he were to start skimping on the fish, you would know.
Absolutely. So it's one of the things that I look at your photography and I look at your posters and I say, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's good. But to me, it's hard for me to compare it to anybody else because I think that you're the best.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So it's hard for me to look at someone else and be like, man, I can look at the amateur stuff like people do and they post to Facebook and they don't really know about the lighting or they ain't going up. I'll say that's cool, but it's not as good as that. Yeah. So how is it that you get as good as that?
So something like this, it's a combination of knowing how to take the photo and then being at the right place at the right time. I mean, this is just me driving down Fort Pickens and like seeing, oh damn, there's a bald eagle. I think it's a bald eagle. First off, is it an osprey or a bald eagle? They're definitely look different.
If you told me it's a bald eagle, I'm gonna say, yeah, it's a bald eagle. I'm with you.
And then, like I said, just being at the right moment at the right time. And like yesterday, what did I do? I didn't do shit. I went to Target. And like tomorrow, I might go to Fort Pickens and spend the day. I might go free diving at the artificial reef, Passport, if you know. And then I might see something. I might not. Like that's just something I had to, come to terms with as a photographer and stuff like nature and landscape. Some days you're not going to see anything. Some days you're going to see something magical. Some sunrises you ain't going to see shit. Some sunrises you're going to see a beautiful sunrise and a dolphin, like the dolphin's eating a fish, or in this case a bald eagle eating a catfish, which people was like, oh, it's a lobster. I was like, no, that's a fish's head. But
you also do portraits, correct?
Yes, I do. If you want to pay me, I'll do it.
So being professional with the photography and having the demeanor that you have, I have to think that everybody is completely relaxed and ready for a shoot. So that has to add extreme value to it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what a lot of other photographers don't realize. A lot of my friends are fantastic photographers, fantastic videographers. I'm like, you are underselling yourself. You have to realize that you may not be, and I am not be. And I appreciate you saying that you think I'm the best, but I don't think I'm the best in the area. But I don't think that I make the situation more difficult. Like, let's say it's real estate photography. Someone's like, I'm like, well, what's the code to get in the house? Oh my God, the house is locked? Yep. Well, someone won't be there for 15 minutes. Not a big deal. I'll go in my car. I'll just work on something else. It's not the end of the world for me. And so that is part of the, being a client and,
I'm going to take a controversial position here.
Hell yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Real estate photography. I don't like it. Okay, let me tell you why I don't like it.
There's probably a long list, but I'm here for it.
If I hired you to do real estate photography, I think I'm like over hiring you, to be honest with you. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you taking pictures of?
A house that's probably going to sell within a week, but
Exactly. A house that's probably going to sell within a week. There's nobody there. It's a bunch of just empty house with furniture, and you're taking angles and lighting to the best of your ability. But to me, it's like I see. Like, how many real estate listings do we have? Like 1 million, right? So I can go on Zillow and see the realtor that went out there with her iPhone, took pictures, hit some filter that I don't even know about, that they lit it up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't matter your pictures as long as there's not like the roof falling down and homeless people sleeping in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's Pensacola, brother. It's going to sell.
100%. But then it's also like what your client's looking for, because like a client's not going to be like you.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, well, as long as the house is fine, it's all good. There are some people like, I'm paying, $1 million for this house. I want the photos to look top notch because I'm a snobby little bitch.
Listen, that snobby little bitch, they ain't going to buy just on those photos.
Well, they might. They might not these days because they're living in New York City and coming to escape, and they've chosen Pensacola now.
Yeah, but look, all right. This is my feeling. Okay. I was in St. Louis 2 months ago, all right? And I don't want to talk that bad about St. Louis, but don't go to St. Louis, all right? Like, literally, like, for your safety.
Don't come to Pensacola either.
Yeah. Don't go, right? So on the flight back from St. Louis, I'm sitting next to this couple, all right? And me being me, like I said, I'll talk to anybody. First thing in my mouth is like, hey, man, St. Louis sucks. Yeah. Like, I can't believe you guys live here. And they're like, we know it's awful. We are, and I'll never forget it. The guy goes, sir, we are, and probably half the people on this plane are going down to where you live, and we're all trying to buy a place there.
100%. I mean, that's me playing devil's advocate. I think East Hill sucks. That's going to piss a lot of people off. I'm going to give
you a high five. Yeah, I don't live in East Hill for a lot of reasons.
I think it's visually appealing.
Sure. I think it's unique.
It's unique. But then it gives me the kind of like the 38 vibe where all the beaches are private. And like, you have to look a certain way to be in East Hill, blah, blah, blah. And they're not taking advantage of everything that they have there. They have all these parks. They have all these unique things. It's cool that they're playing bands on the bayou now. That's pretty badass to finally like utilize what they have. But like, you can't skateboard down the sidewalk because you fucking, I get pissed off because I'm walking my little doodle dog. Anyway.
Man, the grid lines in East Hill, the yield signs versus the stop signs, I've had Uber drivers and all sorts of different people run those, and that terrifies me by itself.
100%. 100%.
I have 2 auto accident cases that were like crazy accidents. I mean, where you if you replayed it, you're like, how this happened? One, dude's on a scooter, lady just blows through a stop sign and smacks him. Okay, like that. In the reality of auto accident cases, that's rare. I mean, people are normally trying to follow the law to the best they can. The other one, same scenario, car goes through a yield, smacks the side of a car, and you're looking at this like, how could this be? Oh, he's still. Yeah. And then trust me, when you sue these people, it is like when I deposed the lady who smacked the guy on the moped, and you know the guy, Cody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Cody?
Yeah, you know the guy. This guy, he's going to be in that seat.
Is he okay? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay.
He's okay, right? I mean, honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Cody's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. Like, honestly, one of the sweetest people. Well, if you call him at 10 o'clock at night, hey, I got a flat tire, there's an expectation this guy's going to show up. 100%, right? The lady who hit him was the most defiant, indignant person. Like, he should have been wearing a bright yellow shirt. It's like, ma'am, he was going to work.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? Like, do you disagree that you hit him? My husband has several motorcycles, and he should have had a yellow helmet. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
An hour
And
of that.
he should have taken a shit before he left, too.
Yeah.
If he would have taken that shit, he would have gone faster, and I would have never hit him.
Right. It was insane, that lady's deposition.
That's why you got me here, right?
No,
chef's kiss.
Sean, I honestly want to know your story. I want to know, specifically, like, you're a surfer and a skimboarder.
I skimboard
Mainly. So skimboarding
Surfing is not something that I really do.
So the influence with skimboarding in your life is an extreme passion too.
Yeah, so I'll start from, like, let's say after high school, I came to UWF for ROTC. Decided that ROTC wasn't my forte. I switched from a major in history to major in advertising and a minor in art. I don't regret any of the ROTC stuff at all. I loved it. I still, love the Blue Angels, and like I grew up watching them. And then I got a job at Waterboys as a graphic designer.
There we go.
Skimboarding was an afterthought. There was nothing. I skimboarded a little bit, but nothing. Not even skateboarding. Started doing graphic design. Started skimboarding more. Restarted a skimboard team. Still at UWF. So I tore my ACL, my meniscus, and fuck everything else.
So I'm from the coast. I've always lived by water. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like one of my requirements of life. In Charleston, the tide change is huge. Mm-hmm. Not like here. I mean,
the East Coast, it does a lot.
So we're talking like almost a football field tide change, right?
Yeah, just walking out.
Exactly. So when a tide's coming in, you'll get like a real big, whatever you want to call it. Shore break, like a washout coming in, right? And we'll get these people from Ohio, New York, New Jersey who will stop at our little, island store, get the cheap skimboard, and they think, oh, this is super simple, right? I have seen some of the most horrific falls that you can, like, that was my summer. Setting up umbrellas and then waiting for someone to fall. Like that's how I spent majority of my day. Yeah. But to us, skimboarding was always just like, not a goof, but it was always like a secondary thing.
It's still, I still think it is. It's like, you have boogie boarding, skimboarding, and then surfing. Surfers are a little bit more respectful of skimboarders, so to say, just because of what is going on and like what real skimboarding is. And what I try to do is not just go from this side to this side. I try to run out, catch a wave, and come back in. And you're not going to find like overhead waves in Pensacola, but like when I do go somewhere, that's what I'm looking for. But and then on Pensacola Beach, just to like go off what you just said, I saw a kid. I dislocated my elbow skimboarding. I'm sitting at the beach. This kid's skimboarding. I look back up, and he's hunched over. I'm like, oh, I see that. I know what that is. And he's like, kind of like walking, and I fucking broke his wrist. And so I grab him and bring him to like his parents, and I didn't know it was like my friend's mom and dad and her brother. But yeah, that's so hard to do. I think it's the most difficult sport to do, extreme sports wise. So like you have skateboarding, the skateboard's there. Surfing, you're on the board, you can fall in the water. Skimboarding, you have to run, you have to drop the board, you have to somehow like get 2 feet on at the same time, and either you're gonna fall on your face or fall on your ass. But
yeah, and then if you do that all right, the wave conditions can still be bad.
100%.
Well, it's always an end. It's always a closeout. So if you don't get inverted, you're gonna take a lip to the face, right?
Exactly, yeah. Or you're gonna hit the sand and like it's concrete pretty much at that point.
Yeah.
Do you find a difference in the East Coast sand and the ability to get into the water because it's almost tampered?
I was gonna say the sand on the East Coast is much more compact. where you got the fluffy crystal sand,
because
quartz
like
crystals, Pensacola Beach sand.
A guy like you, without water or waves, how far can you just go?
Pretty damn far.
Would you say like 30, 40
With
yards?
this girlish figure that I have.
Would you say like 30, 40 feet?
I would say at least 20 yards.
20 yards?
If I could haul ass. I mean, we could do a video of that one of these days when it's flat as shit. Like, I'll go down the pier. Because I don't know if you've seen it where they'll ride the skimboard like that and then they'll turn it sideways. Horizontally.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to learn how to do.
Yeah, so it's pretty much, we can do that.
Okay.
Just got to sign a release waiver. Just a lawyer.
Florida lawyer.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm talking about.
That's gonna be the next YouTube.
Yeah.
Me breaking my wrist.
Yeah, 100%. But it's so when you turn sideways, it's your surface area is evenly proportioned, and you can go farther. And if the conditions are correct, you'll do that.
That's why they turn sideways.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Because
I didn't know why, but I knew that they were doing that to go farther.
Yeah, because when you're going straight on a wave, like waves coming and you're going that way, your weight is to your back foot, which is good because if you're close to the wave, that's why they turn at the last second so you can actually pivot. So the more you know.
I surfed majority of my childhood. Then I moved here. Surf here, like if you get the right day, it'll be good, right?
Yesterday was nice.
You have to have the time. Mm-hmm. Like you literally almost have to have no occupation whatsoever. You got to be able to go on the right day.
You have to have a job like mine.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and bought like one of these new skimboards many years ago because I was like, well, man, I skimboarded when I was a kid. We just take pieces of like almost plywood, shave it down. That was it. Glass it over. So I went and got one that was like Kevlar or something.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah, it was nice, and then the back had a stop.
Traction pad.
Yeah, it had a traction pad in the back, and it was cool. But clearly, this was like out of my league. Like, I had to do it.
It's a different game now.
Yeah, a completely different game because the speed is insane at that point in time. Yeah. The board moves so fast. So back in the day, you would run, drop it,
just jump on.
Take a couple steps and then you can jump on. With the new ones, when you drop it, you got to be jumping on like right then. Like you have to drop it perfectly and then jump on quickly. It's
like skateboarding. It's like skateboarding back in the day. It was just riding around, do a little tail whip on the ramp, but now it's progressed to that kid just did a kickflip. What the hell? Like what the hell was that? What the hell did he just do? And skimboarding is the same thing. Instead of just run, drop, slide, you're catching a wave and doing a 360 shove it, which is a skateboard.
It's beyond me without fins too.
Yeah. Anyway.
My favorite, my only trick that I could do as a skateboarder was a pop shove it tail grab.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. Good. Yeah. I mean, that's where it stopped, and it was fairly simple. But is that a move that skimboarders?
You could technically do it. Like I do a 180 grab off a wave, so like it's on the rail, but like grabbing the tail would be difficult. But it's something manageable. Do I want to try to do that now? Not really, because I'm done. I'm tired. I hurt.
Do you coach?
Yes, yeah, I do teach private lessons and stuff like that. So I manage the skimboard team too. We just had tryouts yesterday.
So many years ago when I was after I realized that the skimboard's like insanely difficult. Yet again, one of these things where this must be magic. Mm-hmm. There was a skimboard competition that I saw, like maybe over in Navarre.
Yeah.
And there was somebody who was like a world-renowned dude who was killing it over there.
And so this is the other thing. Sophia, who lives here, she's the I'm just gonna say 5-time women's world champion in skimboarding. She lives here.
That's incredible.
And Sophia, she kills it. She always has. But yeah, my friend Kale, he's a professional skimboarder. He has his own model. Like, we have those people here now. But yeah, as a kid, that was something huge. But now it's like, damn, now I'm in charge of it, and I can cultivate a team and put this together into where we're all doing something awesome. So,
did you do the logo
for Waterboys or
for the skimboard team?
No, we don't have a logo, but
maybe you will.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
Well, that's funny you say that. Waterboys logo has kind of been standard forever, but it's been enhanced, maybe.
No, I mean you still have the trident, which is that.
Yes.
But
have you put any work into the Waterboys logo?
Not lately. No.
Okay. Look, man, you remember the old version of the Wildboard? Because back in the day when they were at like university or close to university, I bought a surfboard for them. It was one of the earlier boards I had, and back in the day it was like a caveman looking guy.
They still have that. It's like it's a character, he's holding a trident.
Right.
They have that. Then they have a weird Waterboys logo. It's a circle with the WBZ that you can't really tell, but if you looked at it, it's kind of like that. Like, what the hell is that? It looks like my laundry, but yeah. I mean, it has progressed over the years, but the main one is the trident. It's like the Nike check,
right?
And that is branding to a T.
Are there any other like surfers apart from that skimboarder that have pretty big names or that are doing big things in the
Pensacola area? Not so much. The only one that I know of, like, is Sterling Spencer from Interlight, but like that's nothing like that has gained traction. I don't know of anyone that's gotten.
Right on.
There's a lot of good ones though.
So to me, the like the East Coast Florida surfers and I'll throw in the Gulf Coast surfers. Like if you can surf a Gulf Coast wave, right? When you go to Hawaii, you're like, it's almost like a wave machine. It's like a whole different experience. You're like, man, if I could surf the chop and literally the crap that we deal with in the Gulf Coast, you go to Hawaii, like this is super
like
easy.
Waikiki or something like that.
Exactly.
Just rolling waves.
The only issue, there's like a million people.
There's a million people and you just have to stand up.
yeah, that's it. Don't hit anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like rule number one. But I'm telling you, when you go over there, you're like, this is a whole, it's different, but man, it's so much easier.
I personally think that you're a driving force for tourism in Pensacola.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah.
Is there any benefit to that?
Aside from making money off them? No, I'm just kidding. Just raising awareness of like the same thing, like, locals only. I hate that bullshit. It's so stupid. Like, I hate
Completely
that.
agree.
Like, I'm a local. Like, if you're a fucking guy with the local, not the local brand from Pensacola, but just like a local logo, almost like the Salt Life, you're probably a douchebag.
Like, don't tell me you're not a breezer.
Yeah, you're probably a douchebag. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, this isn't my beach. This is everyone's beach. Like, you don't make this messy. I don't make the lake in Jersey messy. Like, that should just be a thing. So it's just building awareness about respect. The same thing like the restaurant industry. Like, I clean my plates after I'm done when I've eaten out. Let's say at the Grand Marlin, then I stack the plates because it's just a matter of respect. Hopefully people gain more respect of Pensacola and the area, and hopefully I do it in a way that is not just completely exploiting Pensacola for a monetarily value. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want you to make your money.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think you should be making as much as you could possibly make. What I like, and what maybe it's your dislike of East Hill that I like so much, is one of the reasons I don't like East Hill is the amount of money that somehow gets allocated to just that particular area of Pensacola.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off.
100%.
Because we have so many, like I said, this is like one of the most diverse little areas. You go to South Florida, you're not going to drive to the north of whatever the county is and see farms, like real deal farms, or then go and see beautiful beaches and Civil War
100%.
historic. So I want us to spend our money on that.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, like, and this is maybe segues into why I don't like real estate photography. I don't want you to move here because of the house.
Yeah.
And that's not really what you're moving here for. You're moving here for because it's safe, it's clean, we got these amazing places to go. Like, all right, so my 2-year-old, this kid is wild and full of energy. Like, no nap, go 11% all the time. We tried to go to the Navy NAS museum. It was closed.
Yeah.
I was honestly, I called my wife screaming. I was so mad. I'm like, here is this base that has literally been part of our history. Like, our history and their history is intertwined more than any other place in Pensacola.
It's Cradle of Aviation.
Cradle of Aviation, right? And at one point in time, the west side of Pensacola, they all worked at the base.
Yeah.
That's like where majority of the people on the west side worked. That was their whole livelihood. Now we can't even go to the museum that essentially our city helped build. I was so upset about that.
It was like maybe we were on a road trip and we went to Arby's and they had no meat.
Yeah.
Well, fuck your soldiers. Where's the meat? Where's the meat? We had the meats. I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry.
So look, man, that's one of the things I love about your photography is you're not just taking pictures of stuff in East Hill.
Yeah, 100%. And then what I've been doing lately, and I really love, and I have this platform, and I don't want to ever get political. I don't want to do that bullshit. I don't want to do...
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't want to be like, I'm choosing sides. And so I'm like, damn, I have this platform. I love taking photos. And how can I make this more personal? And I've been doing more video and photos of restaurants, local restaurants. You're not going to see me doing... I'll probably eventually do one of McGuire's, but like that's not one of my like top things to do. Like, do a video of Saigon. Saigon needs more attention. I think it has like much more respect that it deserves than it doesn't get. And doing a local food trucks, which I did one at Brown Bagger, but like, you know, those are my friends, people that I have personal connection with, that I build a relationship with, that I think that I should post about and not have someone ask me to post their restaurant. And I'll do it whenever I feel like it, and I don't want anything in return. that's what I want to do. I want to go to, Dwarf's Chicken. Like, I need to do stuff like that. Like, but I don't want to just go there and do a video of them and then never go back. I want to, like, actually meet these people and, like, actually have a relationship. Because if they're an asshole, I'm not going to want to do a video of them. Just because I'm trying to get more exposure on Pensacola Vibes because someone makes a great sandwich. I'm not going to do that. So that's what I've been trying to, like, turn gears into doing photography, videography, but more of a personal connection of the community and still do stuff like that.
So one of the things that, like, I'm going to try to put it in my own words. It may be completely wrong. So this is a correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
From the end user, like the people who look at your pictures, they love your pictures, they love your work. I believe they have a trust in you. Like, I believe they think that Sean, when you hear the name Sean Mullins, the first thing you think is quality. Like, quality work. So one of the things that will happen is people who have this quality because really they had a passion to begin with, they will get hijacked by money. Like, could you imagine McGuire's coming to you and saying, we'll give you X amount of money, just come in, take pictures, right? But your users, the people who take in your content, they are trusting you
100%.
to vouch for quality.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people, when I do stuff, people can tell when you're half-assing something and it's almost like an advertisement. They can tell. And, like, I feel like you don't want to treat whoever's watching your company like they're a damn idiot. Like, they know that I'm doing it because of myself, not for my own personal gain, not for monetarily value, but, like, they can tell. People aren't dumb. And I think people that know who I am appreciate that. And I don't want to backstab anyone. I feel like that's what I'd be doing. Is just stab at everyone in the back if I, like, went somewhere and took photos and posted it on Pensacola Vibe and just like that.
See, that's what kills me about real estate pictures. Because I know that, like, there's a high percentage that those pictures, if I actually went to the house, I'm not going to see that view.
No, 100% no.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Right?
But that's why I also love doing videography I would rather do videography for these houses than photos because I think it's more of a personal connection. And you can't really fucking Photoshop something out of a video. You could have, like, take your sweet ass time with it, but I'm not doing that. You're not paying me enough to do that.
Yeah, you're not superimposing a rug or a couch into a photo, which a lot of times they ask you to do that kind of stuff.
Well, that's why I love doing portrait photography. I try doing stuff in portrait photography, which is not heavily Photoshopped, not like have like model photography. I try not to do stuff that's like too much of the face smoothed out. I want more of like what's in the background that like is a 50-50 of the combination. The same thing with real estate photography. It's almost like you're trying to make something look so perfect when it actually isn't. Like, you cannot make like something so perfect. And I do love doing real estate photography. I do like doing stuff that's symmetrically correct. That's what really gets me going. But at the end of the day, if like a realtor's an asshole and they want to do all this dumb shit, like,
or how about like, hey, I need it by Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's why I just posted a video. Like, some guy takes photos like what a client thinks I do, and they come into the door and the wife's there and he's like, move aside, bitch, and like like rushes to the computer desk, puts the SD card in and starts editing. You're like, no, fuck no, hell no, that's not my life. You think that I'm like a fucking peasant? Like, I hate that shit.
Right.
Obviously, I just cursed like 8 times.
No, it's fine. Because
I know.
Look, at the end of the day, I want to be real.
No, 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
That's kind of almost one of my downfalls. Like, when you say I don't want to be political, look at my age and my everything that I've seen from my own work. I'm perfectly fine taking a stance at this point.
No, 100%. And I'm perfectly fine taking a stance as Sean Mullins. But Pensacola Vibes, that's not what they're coming there for. They're coming there for not to like therapeutic and like inner like peace, but like not to see the bullshit. But I will always have a personal opinion about everything. Like, I don't give a damn what you think,
So, look, let's talk about this, because I moved to Pensacola 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 2009 Pensacola to where we are now is night and day.
2007 is when I moved here.
Okay, so you saw it too.
I didn't do shit until like 2011, though. I remember going to Club Ice on Palafox.
Yeah, I went there too, man. Yeah. Let me tell you my first experience going out. It could have been Club Ice. I remember. So I went out with. Oddly enough, I went out with a kid.
Digging deep, running back there.
Yeah, I went out with a kid who was in my law school. He quit law school because it wasn't for him, and somehow, oddly, this kid ended up in Pensacola because his wife worked for the federal government, had some job up here. So he took me out the first time, and my first thought was like, hey, isn't that like a 17-year-old kid over there?
Yeah.
And, oh, isn't that a 55-year-old guy over there? See, Miami, it's not like that.
No,
like
it's everyone and everything.
Yeah. That's what blew me away. I'm like, where the hell are we there? We got a 17-year-old and a fucking 16-year-old over there. But that was like, he's like, man, welcome to Pensacola.
Yeah.
Like, this is normal. And then to see the grow. My only problem, and this is my concern, we did a great job rebuilding downtown and like rebranding, whatever you want to call it.
It's
right?
creating a monster.
It's exactly it, man. It's creating a monster that we have to feed, and the rest of Pensacola is kind of losing out to that monster. That's my concern.
The thing is, you create something like that, and then it's going to have like a spiderweb effect where you create something cool, and then there's too many people involved, just money grabbing everything, and then you're going to open up too many Beef O'Brady's and all that shit, like the concrete jungle, what you don't want. It's not what I don't want. But don't get me wrong, I do love Chipotle. Like I said, one day I'll go to Target. Like, oh, fucking, like, I'm not supporting local, but like, it's nice to get away from the norm. But then it's like, you don't want too many cookie cutter places downtown. You don't want too many cookie places like closing up like the actual shops that make sense.
Like Dorf Chicken.
Exactly. And you don't want these people coming from the north or someone else that, you know, all they have, not north, but in general, like all they have is Olive Garden and Carrabba's, and like that's all they go to because they're never going to get out of like their comfort zone. Like a lot of people, and me too, will watch the same movies every year because they know that they're not going to get disappointed. I'm not going to get disappointed when I see There Will Be Blood or something like that. I know I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. People don't want to try new restaurants because they're like, I don't want to spend $20 and then it'd be a waste of money. But for me and my ideology on stuff like that, it's like, when I go to places new in Pensacola, I'm like, this is what I would do in Tampa. If I'm visiting Tampa, I'm going to go on Google Maps, look at some place that is cool, and I'm going to go there. Well, that's what I try to do in Pensacola. Like, once a week, I'll try to go somewhere new. Like, everyone's like, oh, you see the same damn people. Well, that's because you go to the same fucking place every day.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
But
there's that person at the bar.
That was a real Pensacola thing to do, man.
Yeah.
You went to where your buddies worked. You went to where 100%. Your buddies owned. You know, that was the thing to do.
You know you're going to get the same thing every day.
Right. So if I was able to give you a magic wand and you could fix whatever you wanted to fix about Pensacola, what would that be? And I'll give you as many things.
The water quality through like the bayous and stuff like that. I think that's the main reason why people aren't going. Like I said, paddleboarding and stuff like that. I just wanted that to be the water quality to be like, why the hell is everything by the paper mill disgusting as shit? Like all these open water spaces, like we could be Tampa and St. Pete where people are fishing and there's all these mangroves and everything's growing. And like another thing that I do love about Pensacola Beach, it's awesome. The water quality is great, but like there ain't shit there but water and sand.
Yeah.
It's cool that we have an artificial reef now off the pier that which no one knows anything about. Like no one knows shit about that. Some people know about the one past Portofino, but there's the same thing right next to the Pensacola Pier. I just wish there was more outdoor activities that were more acceptable and more people love to do. That's pretty much it.
Well, to me, it's like, I think people would want to do it if it was there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if it is there, like someone has to make it look cool in order to do it. I think that's the whole entire thing with Pensacola Vibes. Like the nature trails that I go on, it makes it look cool and people want to do it. It's the whole entire influencer bullshit. If you can be an influencer and make it look cool to wear this crop top, everyone's going to want to do it. I mean, it's the same shit that's been going on for years, but trying to take that mindset and use it for something good.
You've been doing something with trails. And national parks or state parks or just trails?
Just trails. I mean, I have a trails page on Pensacola Vibes, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Can you explain?
It's essentially, I have the list. Like, you could look up trails on Google Maps, but on Pensacola Vibes website, on PensacolaVibes.com/trails, there's a Google Maps page where there's little bullets where, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can see what trail it is, look it up, and then go to it. I mean, just as directions get here. And so I know we're only talking about Pensacola Vibes, but my other company called Panhandle Springs, which is freshwater springs, where I free dive, same concept that I started. I've already done it for fun, already have all these photos. I want to create a trails page or a springs page that just has a number, like, whatever the trail is, and then so people can go outside and do that. I think it just like an active lifestyle makes people happier and like the city grows like better and stuff like that,
It's obvious that you're passionate about it as I see it.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that you're not filming it so people can see it. You're filming it because you want to film it.
Yeah,
you
100%.
Enjoy it.
I mean, only once in a while will I be like, so when I went to CJ's Kitchen and I had breakfast, that was one instance where I was like, oh shit, I should probably record this.
Dude,
a lot of the times I'm like, oh, I'm already recording it. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm sitting here. This is awesome. Like, this is a local spot. Like, I should totally like film this, so they get more business, not just every Sunday. It might be packed Sunday, but like if it's shit packed Sunday, maybe they'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, you know.
You know, so many years ago, Quint Studer did this. I guess you call it a competition. And the whole idea was he will allow you, or he'll give you one of the building leases. Mm-hmm. And we had from that the place downtown. What am I thinking of? The restaurant.
Bodacious was.
No, Bodacious was his own.
Bubba's Sweet Spot.
But right next to Bodacious.
Downtown.
Yeah, downtown. The lady who won the competition was able to open up her own restaurant. It was
on that strip.
Yeah, on that strip. It's a tapas restaurant.
I'm gonna have to
Carmen's.
Carmen's, right? So Carmen won that competition, and that's how she opened up that restaurant.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how it all went down, right? But Quint was able to do it because essentially he owned the building.
Yeah,
he could do whatever he wanted to, right? The city of Pensacola, they never want to do something like that because honestly, in my opinion, they want to keep it to their buddies and to themselves. But if they were able to do something like that for all these different areas, like the county, right? The county politics is insane. Like it's literally just a bitch bunkering, you know. Yeah. It's like a bunch of kids just bitching all the time. I want them to do the same thing because if you want to go down a river on a tube, you got to go to Santa Rosa.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only infrastructure that has that.
It's the same concept as like murals. There ain't no murals downtown Pensacola. Like, oh, look at the mural of that ship on the old Seville Tower, right? That's not a fucking mural. That's a canvas. That's not even attached to the building. So they can take that down whenever they want to. Stop half-assing Pensacola kind of thing. Like, pay for...
Oh, man. It's like
no one wants to commit.
It's like when they did the food trucks, all right? So there was all this conversation. Food trucks are dangerous. They're going to put out business. And
well, then maybe you're not doing your business
That's
right.
exactly what I thought. I was like, that's the whole point of business, is to put out the people who aren't competitive.
Yeah, there's enough food for everyone. That's why there's some people that are doing the same thing as Pensacola Vibes, taking photos and videos of the year. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and then they did that, whatever the hell you call it. At first it was called Alfresco. Where
the
they
garden.
where they tried to make it say that was food trucks. It's like, that ain't food trucks, brother.
Ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, those aren't going anywhere. And one dude owns that whole place. And the truth is, he leases out those Airstreams for insane amount of money. So that's just nothing more than me going down to the mall and going to the food court.
We're getting into politics now, but isn't that intertwined with the puppy fucking pee thing?
Yes, man.
We don't have to get into it.
No, we can.
No,
it's a bunch of
like
bullshit.
$40,000 or something like that to put that in?
Yeah.
For a dog to go pee when there's perfectly fine grass and shit to pee and poop?
Yeah, just walk a little bit more. You know?
It's not my business.
Take your kid down. Take your dog down to the Maritime Park.
I do, but my mind was set on the irony of the food trucks because when the city pushed against it and they're like, oh, put it in our city council parking lot. Then we had a food truck TV show up to Pensacola, and Pensacola's like, we love food trucks. No, we don't. You said a month ago we don't.
We love homeless people. Wow.
That blew me away.
Goddamn.
We had a food truck TV show.
We'll stop everything one day to move all of them. And then we still don't know what the fuck to do.
No, we'll take the money.
This should totally go on the podcast. This should be totally a highlight right now.
No, it is. The government will take the money.
I love homeless people.
I mean, that's truly what happened. I remember the timeline specifically. I mean, 3 weeks before that TV show came here, they were like, no. Yeah. I mean, to be nice, you can be in our parking lot. And then this whole show takes over Palafox.
I will say some of those people that said that do not have businesses on Palafox, which is awesome. There's some like what was that burger place?
Tin Cow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's very adamant against it. And I just don't understand. So
if you want to talk about Tin Cow, we'll go there.
We can if you want.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, Tin Cow was owned by one gentleman who had many other restaurants, right? Yeah. Hopjacks, yada, yada. There was a chiropractor in town. Super sweet guy. The reason I loved him is because the same kind of passion you have about your work, he had about his work. Like, he totally believed that he could heal people, and he would do whatever he could to make it happen. I didn't think that much about chiropractors because where I'm from, we didn't have them. Right? They weren't a thing. Here, they're all over the place because of legal reasons. But I went to him, and it worked. Dr. McGrath. It worked. And this guy, I mean, he spent like 30 minutes talking about the history of chiropractic, yada, yada. I mean, just passionate dude, right? Yeah. So he moves to Oregon for different reasons. And before he moves, he says, hey, Chris, I owned shares in this company that owned Hop Jacks and 10 Cow. So when the actual owner started it, he didn't have the money. He went to a lot of other people and said, give me your money, I'll give you shares. So honestly, Dr. McGrath says, I hate that guy. I've never made $1 after I gave him this investment. I'll let you buy my investment so you can sue him because I'm leaving. So I was like, suing people, that's what I do. That's my passion. Yeah. So I bought Dr. McGrath's shares, not because I thought it was a good investment, not because I believed in the mission statement of the company. I bought it as really just to sue the dude on the back end. What happened is I bought it, we're busy as can be, and then like a year later, he shuts down. He literally goes out of business. And I get a letter, because now I'm an investor, saying, we're going out of business, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you ain't getting any money.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's what happened.
I don't doubt it, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. Like, who knows what his personal life is? It sucks that he got to that point where he had to do that. Maybe he needs some kind of guidance, because I see a lot of people trying to do the same thing that I'm doing in different cities. And they're like, oh, you should come to Atlanta and start Atlanta Vibes. And I'm like, well, you're right out the gate is just trying to do a money grab. Like, it's not going to succeed. You're not going to be able to do it. One, you don't have the time or don't understand how much time I've put into it. Like, I'm working 24/7, but then I'm also not working 24/7 if I don't want to. If I don't want to work, I don't work. But if I'm working, I'm working. I'm working all the time. Like, literally, I'm like a tax write-off. I'm like, fucking, I'm talking about Pensacola Vibes right now and the fucking Krispy Kreme. Of course this is a tax write-off.
You were in the Sandshaker versus the Shaka video that broke me into marketing.
What's that?
You were when I took a tour.
Shit?
When I took a tour of the
Pensacola Beach is a high chance.
Oh, was that? I mean, did I say what's the difference between a salt shaka and a salt shaker? Or something
You just
like that?
waved. All you did was wave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just waved. But you were just in there. You're just in there. But as soon as that video hit, people don't understand, and you understand too. I probably made 25 to 30 free commercials. I just went to every business I could, and I asked, can I film here? Can I film here?
Exactly.
Can I film here? And eventually it surfaced into its own creation, you know? But I mean, it's about going after it.
100%.
And showing them that you care.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of people. Like, a lot of people thinking I'm like magical, mystical creature, and they shouldn't ask me anything. Like,
That's exactly what I would have felt.
ask.
So we have a couple of your pictures on my website, right? And it was through Ralph who set it up. And when they said, "Hey, we're going to use Sean Mullins' pictures," I'm like, "How? How are we even getting them?" You know, I assumed like, "Hey, this was off limits."
No,
yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. I do remember that too. Yeah, I mean, same thing. You just have to ask.
I would say I think I'm the only lawyer that has your pictures.
Is Alstock? What is Alstock?
I don't know, but I'd like to get one on the wall for the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be awesome.
Also,
but people have bought my pictures, nothing like that, for Hurricane Sally. That's the one that was interesting. I was on Garden Street. You know the billboard? What is it? Is it Barrancas in Garden? Where the big billboard is? The big...
There's one on A Street.
Anyway, just to say a billboard, I'm like driving, I look left, and it's the digital billboard. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks. That's the fucking barge in the 3 Mile, but that's my fucking photo on a huge billboard. I'm like, can't really post about that. Like, it's a proud moment, but like, damn. Anyway,
I've showed up on scene, and I'm just gonna be transparent. I've showed up on scene, and the guy who booked me goes, "You're Pensacola Vibes, right?" And I'm like,
nah.
No. No, I'm not.
I know it's happened to a lot of my friends too, and I feel bad. I mean, luckily, their work is still fantastic. I mean, it's fine.
I mean, I'm not you, and I tell them straight out the gate, I'm not you, but I'm gonna give you the best I can.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
So,
yeah, and I'm sure it was still great. So,
so where
I did teach you some things. You can tell them that.
Truth. And I'm a big advocate. I love your work. So.
I do appreciate it.
Where do you see Pensacola Vibes going?
I mean, essentially, so this is the thing. Like, I've never taken a loan out. I've never done anything like this. The first shirt order was one of my checks from Waterboys, because Waterboys does screen printing. I did Pensacola Vibes. Like, those shirts were done at Waterboys. Took that money, pretty much investing in myself. Goes bigger. Invest in myself. Goes bigger. Invest in myself. Goes bigger. I finally just sit down and fucking edited every single damn photo on my website that was just a canvas option. Now there's metal, acrylic, paper. Hopefully after this Christmas, I have enough money to get a new catalog of apparel, get more apparel, probably rent out a storage unit to put them in there, because I'm tired of having it in my own house, just to get that ball rolling. There's the 30A, which is almost what this company's been based off of to an extent. It's a lifestyle company. I just like their image, but just to grow bigger, have more stuff, like more local shops, because that's the one thing that everyone asks, where's your shop? Where's your shop? I'm like, I don't want to have to be somewhere.
Right. You have employees and all that.
Yeah, that's just, I'm trying to make it so, my headache so minimal that I really don't have a headache. And if I start bitching about work, that's just me being a little bitch. And if I put my big boy pants on and do it and just get it done. So essentially just being more of what I've been doing, but just in a larger scale, but having more access to apparel, prints, stuff that people are proud of. Because I remember I got interviewed and it never got published. They're like, do you think there's enough stuff in Pensacola for you to keep this going? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you don't think people are going to get bored of it? Like, just going to the same nature shows? I'm like, no, because the audience is only going to get larger and more people are going to find out about it. And like, you know, a video that I posted in 2016, which is this turtle video, I found it in my drive. I was going through my Google Drive, like clearing up stuff, which is just time consuming. I was like, oh, damn, I thought I lost this. I posted it. You know, I might have got 5 shares back then, but now it's like over 300 shares today. Like, you know, there's always things to do. There's more people coming. I've countless people saying that I moved to Pensacola, and before I moved to Pensacola, I was following Pensacola Vibes, and I thought it was like the city's tourism. I didn't know it was just you. I'm like, yeah. So
you know what I would like to see? So first of all, the 30A lifestyle logo and that brand, to me, it gets an added boom because people want to wear it to show to other people that they have been to 30A.
It's like Hard Rock. It's a Hard Rock casino shirt.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's a polo shirt because people want to say, I had the money
100%
to go to 30A.
They understand their target audience.
I'm rich.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
You know? So,
you know what I get from this shirt? I get from this shirt almost like a physical sedative. Pensacola Vibes.
Yeah.
Everybody love everybody.
Yeah.
Like semi-pro,
So like,
ELE.
yeah, so, you know, our the reason that we are cool is not the same reason that 30A is cool. 30A is cool because it's exclusive and it's rich.
Well, that's what you think about.
Like 30A, like it's like, yo, we got better stuff than they do. It's just we're for the common man.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's the stuff. It's like the buildings. It's the idea of this hoity-toity clean place. That's what you think of 30A when you think of Pensacola. I don't want you to think of that. I want you to think of like the vibe itself, like, you know, of like what you can do there. It's gonna make you feel good. You don't have to spend money to be happy. I mean, everyone, fucking, you want to give me a chicken sandwich? Yeah, it's gonna make me happy. But it's like where you got it at. Like I said, at the nature trail, like you go out there, you feel funky. If I'm bored at home, like shit, I should just go to the damn beach, like, you know, and just relax. And that's the other thing. Like I said, I love 30A, but almost all those beaches are private beaches. Same thing with Perdido now. You can only go to like public access one, and it's this small strip where you get yelled at if you go.
Man, the old Perdido, because my dad used to go out there in like the 60s and 70s. I mean, we're talking places where some of the places you could actually drive onto the beach.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it was a
that's
completely
the
different
other thing.
deal.
Like Johnson's Beach used to be, you could camp out there.
Grayton, you still can, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but like the same thing in Johnson's Beach, the people just trashed it, and I don't think they've ever like reopened that. You would have to drive all the way down to the end of the road, and you could walk to where the camping is. But that'd be cool to reopen. But like that's not what you think of when you think of 30A.
No, not at all. You think of 30A, I'm here because no one else is here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I paid money, so essentially, let's call them the poor people can't show up.
All these peasants can't.
Right. But the reality is 30A is making money not off the rich people. They're making money off the middle class people who are trying to be rich. Because the truly rich people, they don't wear 30A shirts because they're living in a place that you can't even go.
Exactly. They're living in an island with a gate.
Yeah. Or they're living in Alice Beach where it's like, no, my shirt doesn't say 30A. It says Alice Beach.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, live somewhere where I don't want you to know where I live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know a guy who got his drone up at Alice Beach, and he got around what looked to be a resort, right?
Is this a Fifth Amendment kind of conversation?
I don't know. I just know a guy.
You want to talk to me before you talk about them?
I just know a guy.
Restrictions.
We figure out who owns this property. It looks like a resort. This guy invented the red clip, or the clip that goes on the Ziploc bag.
Good for him.
And then the resealable Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those two inventions, billions probably.
Yeah, just gotta put your name on it.
I mean, like literally, when they looked up what he did, I was using one of his devices.
You know, it's so funny. This is gonna be off topic, but like, I don't eat that much bacon. But why the fuck in the bacon bags and shit like that? When you cut it, That's it.
Not gonna have a zip.
That's it. I gotta take everything out and then put it in a Ziploc bag. Like, I have to waste more shit.
Well, maybe they're smart. They're like, well, look, these idiots are gonna have to cook the whole thing in one go.
100%. But it's not even that. Like little basic bag chips. Like, why isn't everything resealable? Spend your extra 2 cents on this bag.
Yeah. What you're getting from China anyway.
Exactly.
So, the way I see it is you can grow Pensacola Vibes to amazing lengths. But there may be a time that you're gonna have to bring other people in. It's just
100%. And to where it's not that I'll be so busy, but as an example, like hats. I love hats. I get them done locally, but it'd be cool if I could get like custom embroidery stuff and like someone in town does it. Like, hey, I have all these shirts. Can you do it? There's a print company down the street. I'm hoping that I get so busy that where it's like I'll hire someone like, hey, you gotta pick up these prints, you gotta package them and ship them. I'll pay you like $20 an hour to do it. Like it probably take you like 3 hours every week.
So here's one of the crazy things. Before Pensacola Vibes, like going back to my childhood, there were only 2 shirts that were like Pensacola-based shirts that I remember. One of them was the Billfish tournament. Mm-hmm. So almost everybody in Pensacola would have a Billfish tournament shirt, right? Mm-hmm. So Billfish tournament, Florida Bama. Those were the 2 T-shirts, like local T-shirts that you would see all the time. Billfish tournament, I never see it. I never hear about it.
The only one that I can think of right now is McGuire's run. You see it once in a while.
True. But to me,
but not like an everyday shirt kind of thing.
It's a soccer uniform, just about.
Yeah. To me, that's more of a modern thing. Cause I don't remember that from my childhood.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Angel shirt too.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
You see those.
Blue Angels.
But back in the day, you know where you used to buy those from? The Navy Museum.
I was gonna say NAS. Now you can get anything like that anywhere.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons you went. I'm not kidding you. How the old tour used to go is you toured the whole museum, and then when you were leaving was like a straight up gift shop where they would have Blue Angel everything and Blue Angel pacifiers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's still a lot more there than outside in public, but yeah, nothing like it was before anywhere.
Weirdly enough, like Holiday Inn Resort sells Blue Angel merch.
It really does, and I just try to do like, I love all that stuff. I still sell stuff that's like that's very cliche, but I still try to sell something else that's completely off topic, like, something unique.
I like the Blue Angels, and like I said, as a kid, we were here. You see the Blue Angels fly over your head when you're 3, and you're like, you think you're going to get bombed. You don't know what it is. It takes a little bit of adjusting. But the people who love the Blue Angels to the point where they think the Blue Angels equals Pensacola.
It's a cult.
Yeah, that's what kind of gets me, because it's like, man, the Blue Angels... Look, the reality is, and like I said, I'll be political as the day's long. The reality is the the name military doesn't do anything for us anymore, right? You remember when we had that I want to call it the embargo, but it was like a government shutdown, and they refused to fly the Blue Angels. Like, to me, that was like, okay, well, if the Blue Angels are Pensacola, shouldn't we have a say in whether these guys fly? Because that's one of our biggest holidays.
What was it? The government just shut down? It was like the national parks shut down. Like
everybody shut down.
Fort Pickens shut down.
Yes.
That was a weird time, and then, like, this is going off topic again, but like COVID that happened, then COVID happened, and then Hurricane Sally happened, and I was like, what the hell? Like, you can't do it. Like, it's a ghost town. Like, because when I used to work for Levin Rinky Realty as a videographer, when we were at Portofino, like, that whole entire strip was closed between Navarre Beach and Pensacola Beach, and it was the coolest thing ever because everyone was jogging on it. Everyone was in the middle of the road. I was like, that's where I came up with the idea forever ago. Like, Palafox should just be indefinitely closed, just from Garden and Main Street.
So
agreed.
When that idea was being thrown around, I was against it. Because candidly, I drive down Palafox all the time, going to different places.
Yeah.
Now I'm with it because there's absolutely no point of driving down Palafox because how congested it gets. People are walking back and forth all the time. Yeah,
it'd be cool if it's open in the morning if people need to drop off shipments of food and stuff like that. The same thing where they put the columns up for gallery night. But aside from that, it's a ghost town during the day. It's a ghost town, like, just...
Yeah. My only problem is I know the person... I don't know this person personally, but I've heard so many stories. There's literally one person who owns so much of Palafox. Okay? And she's an older lady.
Done that? Never done
okay.
that?
So...
I do.
What my concern is the people who are also saying, yeah, let's close down Palafox, is they're thinking to themselves, I can jack up that rent to the nth degree. You know, if it closes
Which
down,
is, I mean, there's always like two sides of everything. Like
Right.
it's either for the greater good, and they're gonna have everyone else always has a different thing going on in
but
their head.
why are these farmer markets so popular now? Like driving into Pensacola yesterday from where I live in Pace, there was one on Woodbine Road, which is it was an old
I just
country
think
road.
everything is coming back full circle, like quantity over quality, and now everything is back to quality over quantity. It's like the kids, our generation from '90s, and stuff like that. Like, oh, let's go get fucking record players. Let's go get vinyl. Like, I'd rather that. And then me, I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of fucking renting a movie on Amazon. I'm doing that like 5 times a week. Like, I should just own all these DVDs, which I don't know if I'm gonna do. But it's like, damn, like I am like losing money. Like, I have this subscription, I have this subscription, I have this subscription, and I keep on renting damn movies like over Netflix and stuff like that. But I think it's the same thing. If you can make it look cool, more people are going to want to do it. I think all these markets are cool. Everyone thinks it's aesthetically pleasing. You know, you see all these influencers with all these plants inside their house. I have a shit ton of plants in my house now, but I love it. It makes me
remember
happy.
people talking to me about plants, and I'm like, plants?
Yeah.
I thought we were still in the no plant fashion phase. You know,
100%.
now I guess we're plants.
It's like modern. You think in the future there's no plants and it's just everything's
Right.
just clean and black and white.
Yeah.
But now it's like there's controlled chaos and everything, and I think everyone loves that, and everyone's more open about supporting local, and like everyone's like anal about like, what are the ingredients from this, and like, why the hell is there sugar in this cucumber? Like, why? Why is that there? Like, and people are actually noticing that. So I think it is coming full circle. Like, not too much overanalyzing things, but like just enough to where let's go support local. It's more, you know exactly where it came from. You got it from there. It wasn't from China or Vietnam or anything like that, and it's cool to support local. I mean, I think that's why Pensacola Vibes is still on the rise, because one, not too many people know it's still me. A lot of people don't know it's me, but the people that do, they do support me, and I'm forever grateful for that. And
you know, before
just
today,
keeps on going.
what you were to me was like a name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's from Sean Mullins, which,
Yeah.
like I said, like meant quality, meant unique. Having you here in front of me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool, because now I get to meet Sean
Yeah.
Mullins, and I wish everybody else could meet Sean
100%,
Mullins.
yeah.
Because I think people would be like, well, now I met the guy. If I need something from my office,
Yeah, 100%.
Call him.
And I almost do find it's a duty to keep on doing this. Like, it's my job to keep, not my reputation, but to keep making people happy and do what I do so it better affects everyone's life. Because if I can better affect my life, I want to share it with everyone else.
so I'm thinking to myself, like, why isn't your stuff in City Hall?
I don't know. They never reached out to me.
Yeah, but that's crazy, because
Yeah.
what you do demonstrates, exemplifies.
But I also don't know if it's the politics of it too, because I'm not run by the state. You know, it's one
Yeah,
of those
but-
things.
And people find platforms threatening. I don't know if you've come across that, but you know, I've lost other opportunities because I have nowhere near as many followers, but I have a platform, and they refuse to hire me based on the fact that I already have a brand, and that brand pushes other brands too. Therefore, it is a conflict
And that's
Mm-hmm.
of interest.
also another reason why I don't put my name on stuff in Pensacola Vibes. I don't want them to think of me. I want them to think of Pensacola Vibes, and they don't have any tie to something. Like, I don't have anything against Interlight. But if they found out that I worked for Water Boys, or I was with Water Boys,
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
that's
oh,
a Pensacola thing. That's like almost like a high school thing.
100%. But like, there are people that think that way. Like, they literally won't talk to me because I'm with the satanic Water Boys
Well,
team.
that's the Shaka versus Sandshaker. Like, are you a Sandshaker person,
Yeah.
or are you a Shaka Bar person?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. You know, growing up as a kid, I was a Sandshaker person only because they allowed 3-year-olds there, and I know because I was a 3-year-old there. You know what I'm saying?
Prop them up on the bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Smoke a little cigarette. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an old Pensacola deal. You know, it was funny because the Shaker claimed that they're the first ones to make the Bushwhacker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the Bushwhacker's like just this mystery. Like, who knows where it came
Yeah.
from? You know, how dare you claim to be the first one?
You know,
Pirate Cove.
Yeah.
you know, I'm.
Same stuff.
Right.
It was actually developed like down in like the South Caribbean somewhere, but I learned a lot. Even though I made that video as a joke, I learned a lot. You know, there was a 5-year lawsuit over the Bushwhacker that the Sandshaker was involved with over funds, Captain Funds, and then they went straight from that lawsuit to suing the Shaka Bar. They stayed
what
in
was it about?
litigation.
Like, well, like,
Saying
sum
that
it
they
up
were
in
stealing business, saying that they were getting confused, not going to the Sandshaker, that they were going to the Shaka Bar instead.
confused over what?
That the names that they said that the Sandshaker, people were calling the Sandshaker the Shaker and the Shaka Bar the Shaka, so people were getting confused between the Shaker and Shaka. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's exactly right.
And they said they were losing business because of that, even though there's only like 5 damn bar stools on the Shaka bar.
I don't think honestly, I don't think I've ever been to the Shaka Bar. Not because of I
No,
didn't want to go
100%.
there.
But why would you you wouldn't get confused?
Yeah, I wasn't confused.
No.
I mean, I would be very drunk going into the Sand Shaker, but sure as shit, I know where it was.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's the ratty building right there.
That's why I had something to say about it. I was like, this is the dumbest shit ever. If they win this lawsuit, like that's just a decline of our society.
So at one point in time, an attorney who I think represented the Sand Shaker actually tried to present the case, and they said it wasn't necessarily about the shaker versus the shaka versus the Sand Shaker trying to preserve sand and shaker and making sure that other businesses don't keep infringing. Because if you're going to go after the Shaka Bar, why didn't you go after the Sand Bar?
Exactly. That's right. Correct. Yes.
Right. So there's a little bit more to the case than just Shaka Bar, Sand Shaker, whatever.
That's why I said, what's the difference between a salt shaka and a salt shaker?
Yes. Yes. I've got a couple just like shotgun questions for you.
Hell yeah.
You cool with that?
Yeah. I didn't start drinking until I was 23. And that's the truth.
All right.
We need to have like a polygraph in here.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm ready for it. I haven't drank in 2 months.
All right. These are they can be one word answers or you can extrapolate.
Okay.
The biggest influence on your life, a human.
Ronnie James Dio.
Who is that?
Do you know this song, Holy Diver?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's Ronnie James Dio. And Black Sabbath, he was in Black Sabbath for a bit when Ozzy wasn't in Black Sabbath.
Okay, so before Ozzy comes in.
Well, it was Ozzy. Ozzy got kicked out of the band, and then it was Ronnie James Dio. I think there was another guy that was in Black Sabbath too, in between that. And Black Sabbath was going down, and Ronnie James Dio is an American singer, and luckily kept that going. And then Ozzy, I think, got part of Black Sabbath again after that. I don't know. As a kid, I was like huge into Headbangers Ball. I remember playing video games.
Yeah.
I had MTV in the background.
So, Holy Diver. The only thing that I can remember.
Although Holy Diver, I believe that was Dio's personal. That was not Black Sabbath at the time.
So
but anyway,
the song, it's like this incredible voice, Holy Diver, and then all the other things, out of my mind.
yeah, it just doesn't make
I have no idea what he's even saying.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Ride the tiger, but you see the stripes are clean, right? Something like that. What the fuck is he talking about? What kind of marijuana are you smoking? Anyway,
The next question's dumb, but favorite location to go to when you're like, man, I need to do something.
I tell you where the fuck that's at. Cypress Springs.
Cypress Springs.
Yes.
Correct.
One of my favorite
Cool.
springs to go to.
Where's that?
Vernon County.
Okay.
So 2 hours ish east of here. Do you know where the Ponce de Leon exit is on
Yes.
I-10? It's past that. I want to say it's probably another 45 minutes southeast of that. It's north of Panama City.
So you could hit a couple different parks. You could hit Vortex, Cypress.
And I've been in Vortex once.
Okay.
I haven't been back. I need to go back just for the sake of going back. But once you hit that Ponce de Leon exit, there's Morrison Springs, which is 15 minutes south of I-10, and then Ponce de Leon. There are 2 springs right there. They're super cool. And I'll always go to them during the weekdays because weekends is just a shit show.
All right. You're not booked, and there's nothing to skimboard. Is there another hobby that you would go after?
It's free diving.
Free diving?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Like new hobby or?
In general.
Tell me new hobby. I'm curious about that.
I've never gone scuba diving. I can tell you that much. I would like to do that.
I can tell you where not to get licensed.
Have you done it?
This is personal.
Dude, I hate
Do
scuba
you want to
diving.
create the safe space for you?
So I've always wanted to do it because like I said, I've always lived on the coast. All right, so like me and water, we're tight. we got a good relationship.
Like skin tight?
Yeah, I mean, I can swim like a fish. Okay, so my wife and I would go to MT Divers, right? And they do a constant scuba lesson. So before I go, like a week before I go, whenever I get into a new hobby, I'm a gear guy. Like, so I'm gonna spend hours researching the best gear, and I'm gonna go spend whatever price it is to get the best stuff. It's a horrible way to live life. I can tell you that because you end up with a bunch of stuff if you don't like the hobby, right? So I go get like the best scuba mask you can buy and crazy fins and all this stuff, right? But the stuff that I wanted, they didn't have in stock. So I would go in there. I'm like, I want this, and I'm talking to people who know who are big time divers, so they know what I'm talking about. They're like, oh, you want that mask? I'm like, yeah. I read online, watched 50 YouTube videos. That's what I want. So they had to order all this stuff. And I said, hey, man, I'm taking the class this day. Is it going to be in? Oh, we guarantee it's going to be in. Not in. Okay? So we start the class. I don't have any of the stuff you're supposed to have. Mask, yada, yada. The first day, they take you to this pool by NAS that I always thought was like a Navy pool, but I guess it's like open. And they just have you swim, and they have you kind of learn the basics of the mask, like how to blow the water out. So the first thing they do is they have you swim up and down so many times. It's me, my wife, and literally just a bunch of young Navy dudes, because the Navy got like an insane discount to this place. Okay? So me being me, I'm like, fuck these young Navy guys. I'm going to outswim them. It was like 5 or 10 minute warm up. I blast these kids. Okay. I smoke them. And I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, did you see that? These fucking kids are still swimming. She's like, calm down. We're not even doing what we're supposed to be doing yet. So then we start the actual learning how to put the mask on and breathe. My wife wasn't down with it. Water, that's not her thing, right? Yeah. So she has to sit out. We get past that. The next day, they take you out to the Fort Pickens Reefs, okay? And that's where you actually start to get some real diving. As we're driving over the bridge, looking out to Fort Pickens, there's a massive front. Like, when you see, like, the
shelf
change.
cloud.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this side, perfectly fine, clear sky. That side, black as can be. So we're driving out there. I'm like, man, that doesn't look good. This is going to be a problem.
My common sense is telling me that this is
a problem. Common sense, right. It was like, this is not the best day to dive.
Yeah.
So we get out there, and we had one dude with us. We had a group of like 20 to 30 people because there were so many of these young military guys. One dude wasn't going to cut it. So what they did is they divided us up into like 4 or 5 groups of 5 people.
Buddy system.
Yeah. Right? So my wife is like, I don't really know if I want to do this. So we waited to the last group. Okay. And she went out, and she's like, nah, I ain't doing it. So she came back. So I go out with me and my buddy and maybe 3 other people. We're out there doing our thing, doing our check and yada, yada. When we come up, it's straight lightning. Like, you can see the lightning hit the water, right? And the instructor's like, get out of the water. You got to get out of the water. And I'm like, man, okay, great. We should have figured this out fucking an hour ago. So I'm swimming back into the shore. Now the reality is I have a air.
Got a lot of shit on you.
I got a lot of shit on me, man. And not just me, but my wife's shit is all at the beach too. All right. So the instructor, he loads his stuff. He's gone. All these other young military guys, they load their stuff. They're gone. It takes me 30 minutes to load my own stuff up and then my wife's stuff at the beach because she couldn't carry the stupid air tank. Yeah. Right. When we get back to MBT, everybody has already started filling out their stuff, has already started like closing out the day, because I'm telling you, it was like pouring, right? No one helps me.
Straight up not having a good time, bro.
Yeah, no one helps me take the stuff out of my car. You got to clean all the stuff up from the salt water. I'm doing all that myself. My wife at this point in time is like, I'm out, man. Screw these people. So I'm literally just doing it all myself because I don't want to leave anything dirty. We're talking probably an hour by the time I get back into the little classroom, and literally everybody is done filling out this special form that you're supposed to fill out to get your license. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, what do I fill out? And they're like, well, we already went over it. The instructor goes, we already went over it. I was like, well, I wasn't here, all right? So sure as shit, we're about to go over it again.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you can ask the people next to you. Like, ask the other students how to fill this out. So I'm already livid. I remember I just gave it to him. I was like, hey, man, fuck you guys. Send me my shit that I ordered 2 weeks ago. So I never got the license.
Hell yeah.
So I did it.
Don't go there.
I did it. And it was torture. It was torture for me specifically. Yeah. I really didn't want to do it, but I did it. I had trouble clear my noses as we went through the depths, and I really, really didn't enjoy that.
Equalizing and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, making your ears pop. Yeah.
Yes.
I always say it's like because I'm a minimalistic and I free dive. That's because I'm a little bitch and I just don't want to do it. It's like everyone's like, oh, I'm a hippie. I don't believe in credit cards. Like, that's because you just don't understand how to do it. But,
So the truth is it's pretty cool for the first, 5-10 minutes when your mind is like, what is going on, man? We're underwater and we're breathing. After that.
Yeah. So I just like a challenge. That's why I free dive mainly, because it's cool to, I remember I went down this big old cave, inches 30 feet deep or something like that. And the guy asked me, he's like, how did you do that? I'm like, it's all mental. And he looked at me. He's like, yeah, you gotta be fucking mental to do it. Like, now you put it that way, yeah. But it's an interesting thing. I would love to do it just because I can't go down as far as I would like to. Like, let's say the USS Riscany is like that, and take a GoPro down there and get footage of that. Like, see a huge manta ray or something like that. That would be awesome. Because there's only once in a while I've seen something like that and it scared the shit out of me. Like Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rico, all I saw was this huge dark shadow because the water was so clear I could see so far, and the visibility. That's what the word. Man, words are hard sometimes. And
early morning, man. You need some more coffee.
Coffee is always the answer. And it was just a cool experience. It's something that you don't see every day. That's why it's so cool to do stuff like that. And it's the same thing with me with Pensacola Vibes doing drone stuff. I'm like, that looks fucking boring as shit. And then I post it goes viral. It's because I see it all the time.
Man, I lived here for like 20 years and I never even knew that we had the Oriskany in the water.
Yeah, and then the USS Massachusetts, which is not that far off too.
Right. Like that's the crazy thing is if you want to know about like where a lot of the effort and money was to make Pensacola better, it's in the water.
100%. I still don't know exactly where all the old 3 mile bridges.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they took all that stuff and they dumped it out there to create an artificial reef. Probably just
because they didn't tell anybody.
Well, it's a matter of me just searching. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, where are the trails of Pensacola?
Man,
I don't know where. Just Google it. So
I represented this guy. He was a commercial fisherman in a case, and part of the case is they took his GoPro and his phone and something else. Okay, and all he wanted back was the card that had all the locations. And I'm like, well, who cares about the SD card, brother? I mean, let's just get the case over with. And this guy was insistent. He's like, if that gets into someone else's hands, there goes my business. Because they document where they fish based on these artificial reefs.
Oh wow!
And they don't want other fishermen to know about it.
Sean, appreciate you having here. Chris, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Keeping me a part of this.
Always. Okay, so I'll say, we may have to cut this out. Compared to when we tried to do this the first time, this has been great.
Right.
I've been watching him like a hawk because now, I'm a little bit more in tune.
Yeah.
Man, you've been awesome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Honestly, yeah.
Very cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sean, are there social media handles that you would like to put out there? Is Pensacola Vibes across the board on social media? No spaces?
The only thing is someone's got Pensacola Vibes on TikTok.
What an
So
asshole.
it's Pensacola Vibe.
Pensacola Vibe on TikTok.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world.
So we've been talking about TikTok a lot, and I was late coming to the TikTok game, but now I'm in it. Do you like it?
No, I think it's all the same shit somewhere else. I hate all of it, to be honest with you.
Into that thing that's really bad for little kids is where you can't concentrate on something.
No, 100%. In your what fucking
ADD, huh?
yeah, you not paying attention to anything. Like that's what happens. Like people just TikTok just not even retaining it, just seeing. Oh, I've seen it, and it's the same fucking songs over and over.
Right.
That's another thing I try to do different with Pensacola Vibes. I don't try to do the whole entire popular song crap, like the whole entire generic crap. You see the same damn song, and it's just crazy for me to see that on all social media. Like you literally see the same song for every video. I'm like, damn, is Big Brother really like mind controlling like us? Like the same damn song. Like,
I think it's laziness.
Song. Oh no. Like
I would like to I'd like to ban, I think it's called mnemonic phrasing, like in advertising, like $5 foot long,
Yeah.
Susie, wake up.
Yes, 100%.
I don't like this.
100%.
I don't want that running through my head all day, but I feel like TikTok does.
Yeah.
And I don't like
weird.
that. I don't
Go down a
feel
rabbit
like
hole,
that.
dude.
But
Anyway.
Sean, thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
Thank you. Yeah.
This will conclude our podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, even though I'm not on camera. Dude.
Good times.